conspired to do what they do normally. They've been in it. So nobody can come and tell me, oh, you are just making an assumption. No, they've done it in the past, uncountable number of times. I saw a clip. I didn't listen to it from this same FFK guy. You know FFK, right? So, yeah, he was talking about, he said, I saw the headline where he said why Igbo cannot be president in Nigeria. But I didn't listen to it, so I cannot really talk much about it. But I figured that because there is this disagreement between them and the North now, he might begin to pander. Because this is what they do. They tend to pander to different people at different times. That is how the game is played. So if you are stupid enough, you fall for it. You know, that same FFK, some years back, we had what he said, how the Yorubas and the North has come together and nobody was going to ever come in between them to, you know what I mean? So now, because they're having this political disagreement here and there, he might want to pander to the Igbos. So it's only the Igbos that have not been able to I don't know why. Sometimes it gives me cause for serious concern. You know, these guys don't mean well. If you continue to fall for it, I feel sorry for you. So I'm sure that FFK must be saying something along that line. But again, they might, at the end of it, they find a way to figure their stuffs out and forge ahead, you know. So that is for now, bro. Let me just leave it at that for now. But yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you so much, my brother. I appreciate you for your wonderful, wonderful contribution. Thank you so much for that. I just took a glance at a message that one of our member in this very platform wrote now. He said, our brother S.O., I don't know whether, I think it should be a Mazi or Mwada. I think it's Mazi, S.O. In the message, he said, we give too much credit to other tribes while condemning our own because of one or two saboteurs. I disagree with the fact that Igbos aren't self-preservative. Igbos are the most self-preservative. So, my brother S.O., I don't know from which angle you are coming from. See,
I disagree with him. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why sometimes I say when we bring out a topic here and discuss, when you listen with an open mind. When it comes to the love of Igbos, loving themselves, I cannot tell you that Igbos don't love themselves. They love themselves. There is no other place can compare for that. But when we talk about self-preservation, preserving our culture, preserving our projects, just like the Hausas and Fulanis have, they have a project, they have a mandate. Yeah. And that mandate, can you imagine all the way from Othman and Fodio? They are following that mandate. Look at the Yorubas. The Yorubas have a mandate. Yeah. And the mandate of the Yorubas today, which this Okechukwu talked about. Yeah. Somebody told him many years ago when he was in Nollywood. Today they are carrying other projects. Can you tell me one project that we the Igbos have? Okay. One project we have, we are protecting as a people. In terms of individual love for ourselves, we love ourselves individually. We spread that love even to foreigners, even to strangers more. We do that. Nobody can take that away from us. But when it comes to self-preservation, we are talking about projects that belongs to us as Igbos. What our own mission, our culture, whom we are. The only people that are not preservative on that aspect is when we talk about self-preservation, it's deeper. It's deeper than just love. It's better than just love, supporting yourself and love. It is deeper than that. So my brother, the brother that wrote that thing. We are coming from. It's not that we are saying that people don't love themselves. No, yeah. No, I can't be part of that, and I never support that in this platform. Never. None of us here can be able to support that and say Igbos don't love themselves. I'm not part of those who say that. I don't. Go ahead, my brother. Yeah, the brother. Make it so that. The brother wrote that thing.
is ignorance. Simple as that. You know, as persons be rich, now so they talk. Because when we talk about self-preservation, it's a different thing altogether. It's not same as saying Igbos don't love them. Igbo love them. So what are you talking about? Ndi Igbo love them. So I've traveled vastly, and anywhere I go, even within Africa and outside Africa, things changes, right? So, but that is different from self-preservation, because the mere fact, listen now to this, yeah, the mere fact that when you see Northerners, they are working so hard, even when they don't even have seed, they are trying to dig a natural seed. You know, these are things that, but you have our Igbo politicians, even though I don't agree that they are our elite or politician, because I know how they come about. I know that they are imposed. They were imposed on us by the Nigerian system. But even at then, probably they are Igbos. Okay, we actually say the fact that we don't have a functioning seaport in the entire southeast, south, or a functioning international airport that you can take off from London, New York, wherever, and land in your territory, in your Biafra land, that tells you everything you know about, everything you need to know about self-preservation, because it simply means that you are not looking at the future. You are rather building on shallow ground where if anything happens today, where do you start from? And if people are leaving your place, your people, they are building, developing outside, right? Because they want to be closer to where you have these facilities. The nearness to seaport and international airport, that drives people to leave their place, and they go and develop in other people's place. That simply means that you don't have that sense of self-preservation, because if not, you as a politician, you will come together and say, this cannot happen. We just cannot. There are the three major tribes, the three, right? So you don't have it in one major one, which is Biafra, Ndibo. They don't have it. So we will now stand on it and say, you must give us the license to have a functioning seaport for our people and the international airport for all our people. If somebody chooses to travel or migrate wherever, it's fine. It doesn't stop anything, but you must have this. So the method that they don't do that, it simply means that they don't have that sense of self-preservation. There's sometimes, so people need to begin to think deeply to understand where these things are. Thank you.
Thank you so much. That is why sometimes I like people making contributions, even on the comment section. When I see your comments, somehow we read it out. We are all here to learn. We we disagree to agree. And after we go into issues here, on your own, you look at it through again and again. And you begin to find out that either you are on the right side or you have to adjust from that stand where you are and take another position. Because the brother have also responded again. He called the Biafra agitation one of the self-preservation that we are engaging in. He said the Biafra agitation is self-preservation. That is why he said the truth we must accept is that the media always portray as bad, making us look like we aren't self-preservative. One core self-preservative drive of the Igbos is the push for Biafra. You see, when we are talking about this issue, there was a comment Martin Nandekano made in one of the programs I played here, when he told the government, the politicians, what the Biafrans requires.
Yeah.
We are talking about politicians that represent Biafra in Biafra land.
That's peace for us.
In that program say, do you know that when the United Nations and people that matters want to ask questions of the situation of the land, these are the people they meet. They go there to meet your governors, they meet your traditional rulers, they meet those people you think that they claim to be representing you. And none of them is going to present your case. None of them is going to fight for the things that you need as a people to succeed.
Exactly.
There is nobody that is pushing that project. Nobody. Nobody is pushing it. So when we are talking about this self-preservation, it involves every single person, whether a politician or non-politician, whether you agree with Biafra or you don't agree with Biafra. And when you go, that is why this example is very clear. Look at the northern part of Nigeria. You see, no matter what the terrorists are doing to them, they seem to accept them. Because they know what they are pushing. They know what they are doing. Exactly. The same thing in the southwest. It is very difficult for you to see them. Look at Do you think they don't know that the Tinubu is not qualified and not capable to run the country?
Exactly.
But at the same time, every single one of them, including those who are in the agitation.
Yeah, they know what Tinubu is bringing to them.
What do you call him? When their leader for agitation, what is that his name?
Sonny Bo.
Yeah. Came up. Did you see that, including politicians and traditional leaders, they were going to the Republic in pilgrimage to go and bring him home?
Yeah, exactly.
These are the examples we are giving. These are the things that we are supposed to impact. You see, sometimes you borrow leave from your enemies. There are certain things you borrow from your enemies. Even those people you say they don't know anything. If there is something we must borrow from them, this is one of the things we must borrow from them.
Bianco, no. If you know the role she played towards this predicament of our PM, if I have time, I will elaborate. I will explain.
In Northern will not do that. Never will do that.
Yeah.
So these are what we are trying to bring to the people. That is why I like that very line of argument that we entered now. Not argument, just understanding we entered now. Because it has to do with this unity and self-destruction. Do we want unity or self-destruction? A very strong question that each and every one of us will begin to answer by ourselves, how we understand it, get a proper answer for yourself, and then you begin to know how to be able to get into this very journey that we're in, to succeed in it and make it what it should be. My brother Greg, sorry for keeping you that long. Go ahead and speak to us, bro Greg.
Yeah, Mazi, good afternoon again today. Good afternoon, Biafrans. And my greetings go to our leaders, Mazi Namdekano and Mazi Simon Ekpa. Those people who are in the forefront fighting, refusing the evil bread of the enemy to save their family, to save their brothers and sisters. We thank God for their life, and we continue in our prayers every single day that God will fight the battle of Mazi Namdekano and Mazi Simon Ekpan and the Biafrans that are languishing in jail because of freedom. May the power that be in heaven remember them and set them free, that they will join us in this cause of freedom that we are fighting. We don't fight people because we hate them. We don't fight people because of any other thing, but for us to preserve ourselves as a people, and God who created us as Biafrans know why he made us in that way. And any hand, man or woman, that try to prevent us in anyhow not to be in that land with that name that God has given unto us will not stand. So heaven will remain with them, while the ones outside, that God will encourage them and open doors, that anywhere those who are genuinely fighting for this freedom, from Dr. Ngozi Araweze, the DPM, to all the cabinet and medias, that any door they knock, that God will assist them to open those doors. All this is what we are bringing to our Heavenly Father through his only begotten Son, Jesus, every day. We say amen.
Amen.
So, Mazi, thank you this morning or this afternoon again. You are listening to your topic, and togetherness, we stand. Every family that did not stand together will not be able to achieve, or especially to win their enemies. So it is good that we come in a family and we stand as a family. And it does not matter that everybody will agree in a particular thing or in a particular issue or in a way to make it. But at least that togetherness. There is not one thing I found out in this land where I'm living. no matter what you will have with the indigenous of this country, especially where we normally have open or have confrontation with them in most of the time, is at work. Their brothers and sisters, they will see that their person, their brother or their sister is at fault. They will just keep quiet. No matter what. They will not speak. You will rant and fight and do this. They will not talk one word.
At all.
They will not speak. So, at a point, you are going to ask them, did you not see what your brother did? He would say, yeah. That is the end, though. So, that brings me to the unity we are talking about. Is, you know, some people, when you talk about unity, they think that when you talk about unity, that you must agree. That you must agree. That is not unity. Somebody can even agree with you, but is not in unity with you. So, because when you are talking about this self-preservation, people, they get it too far. I always use the word that Clinton said when he was in power. I will never forget that his word. He said we cannot love each other at a time, but we can work with each other and tolerate each other at a time. So that brings me to why we are so much backward in this, our struggle and our fight for freedom. I cannot imagine myself that I am in the same field fighting with you, and maybe there is something I do not agree with you. Both of you are carrying the equipments, and because of maybe I agree with you, I did not agree with Brother Christian or my sister Ijoma. Because of that, you will bring me and make sure you unlife me or unlife that person. That is a sacrilege in Igbo land. If Igbo man, in the culture of Igbo people never use, even though you mistakenly kill your people, the land will hate, will reject you. They will not kill you, but they will send you out of that land. They will send you on exile. That is the culture of the Igbo people. Igbo never use blood against blood. If you kill, they will send you on exile. So I must understand where the culture of our people, somebody is fighting with you, somebody agree with Simon Ekpa, and he don't agree with DOS. You make sure you unlife him. Why not send him on exile? Tell him we don't want to see you in this land again until Biafra come, instead of making sure you destroy him. So, that's your brother, that's your sister who you don't believe in what he is doing. Why must you come and condemn him more than the enemy condemns him? That is what we are fighting. Again, that is what is bringing us down today, every day. That is why we cannot make any achievement. I watched one clip yesterday night. Somebody was talking, some South Africa people in South Africa. One man, I don't know, maybe many people have seen it because I didn't know that thing was in my handy self. So I just go into my video, this thing. I say, I didn't watch this thing. I didn't know who sent it to me. I opened it, I found out these South Africa people, when they were talking about Nigerian Igbos, that they are pursuing them every day, that they will destroy this evil man's property, and they will make sure that South Africa deport them, and they will make sure they deport them empty-handed. Who are the people who are causing it? Because when I will come out and say, my brother, choose, you're a terrorist, what did I expect a Yoruba man or a Benin man, or what do you call him, or a Fulani man to say? When your brother have called you a terrorist and knowing fully well that you are not, only just to destroy you. So when I tell them my brother is a terrorist, they would, anything, anywhere, any something happen, they will say it's his choose that did it. Because his brother have given them the license that he is the person committing all those crimes, even when it's not true. So that self-preservation you are talking about, our people don't have it. But they even love themselves 100%. But the individualism is what we are suffering. If I have target that this thing will give me millions, anything that is any person is talking about, I will not listen. I will only focus on that millions that I will get. That is it. So, and they will not, those people, even though when that brother is making that mistake, they will not look and have patience for him for some time. Instead, they will start destroying him immediately, more than even the outsider. So, it's a terrible situation. But unity we are talking about does not mean that I must agree with you. It's just like, since we have been talking about all the evil that some fair back and forth in is doing, never in this very platform will cause any of them, or even to cause their family, or even to say let them die, or looking for where we'll take them, or the God we call that will descend upon them, that will make them to disappear, not to be on this earth again. This is an evil mindset that those people that is practicing it in Igbo land, especially in this fighting for freedom, must desist from it. You're calling your brother, your sister that he must die because both of you did not agree. If you see what will happen to him, you make sure that thing happens to him because both of you did not agree. So, we should learn and know what is the culture of the Igbo people. And I'm sending this message today, even to our armies. It is not in our culture, even though when we know that this brother or this sister is a betrayer. If you cannot work with him and you have 100% he is a betrayer, send him in exile, but don't waste his blood in Igbo land. It is not our culture. It is not our culture. We send those kind of people to exile. So that is the message. So self-preservation and unity does not mean that we must agree. That is one thing. We can be unity as a family, but we must not always agree in a particular thing. That is my take. Thank you, my brother, and God bless you.
Thank you so much, my beloved brother Greg. You have spoken well, and we appreciate you for your wonderful contribution. And I come back again to my brother S.O. You know, I respond to S.O. because he's a very strong part of this very platform. He has always been coming on every program, and he doesn't just come to watch, he participates fully. So our brother S.O. has just said another one again. He said, now you also need to realize that so much pressure is against the Igbos because of our deep sense of self-preservation that led Ojukwu to declare Biafra. Igbo politicians are set up to fail in the zoo. My beloved brother S.O., you see, that's why I like us to be discussing, because from the angle you are coming, you seem to misinterpret everything we are saying. Even though you're actually making a point, you are making a point, and those points you are making, it doesn't add up with this very thing we are saying. Okay, let's say this self-preservation we are talking about, the The self in that self-preservation is not singular. It is plural. We're not talking about individual preservation. We are talking about a project of a people. Project of a people. That is what we're talking about. And bringing the issue of Dim Odebogo Ojukwu Declaration of Biafra. This is something that an outsider say and will say no to it. The Declaration of Biafra was not just that Ojukwu, it was not a project that Ojukwu had. It was not a project of the Igbo people, of the Biafran people from the beginning. It's not our project. It is born out of necessity. And at that time, that is the only solution for us to preserve ourselves. The self-preservation we are talking about is plural and is for people, a people that has a project. And I gave example of the Fulanis. Othman Danfodio gave them a charge for many decades ago, even before the amalgamation. Gave them a charge, and they are following it. We just had the one of Yorubas that Okechukwu talked about. Something was took many years ago, more than 10 years ago, and there are so many other ones. Awolowo also has his own project. Awolowo has a project of Yoruba that the Yorubas are still carrying on, which through is in the front line. These are projects of the people, and that project is what we're talking about. Self-preservation in that is not singular. It's not like somebody preserving himself. When you talk about individual preservation, that one is natural for every human being. Every human being have that instinct of protecting him or herself, including animals. Including animals. When they sense danger, they run in to protect themselves. They preserve themselves. If you don't do that, there's no way you can survive. But we are talking about a people. A people. Don't just narrow it down to singular. A people, that is what we are talking about. That was why I gave example of the Fulani Othman Danfodio project and the Awolowo project of the Yorubas. For those of us who are from the old Southeastern region, what is our project? Biafra was never a project for us. Biafra was born out of necessity. At that point in time, there was no other solution. You can even understand that even Ojukwu himself made a move to create a situation in create Nigeria. He was even support a hardcore one Nigerianist. That was why he went to Aburi to go and negotiate for restructuring in Aburi. And the people we went to negotiate with came back and did a different thing because they have a different project altogether. And every one of them bought into it, and they came after us to destroy us. And there is no other choice we had than to gather ourselves immediately to save ourselves. So that one is a different issue altogether. We are supposed to have a project we look forward to protect and preserve ourselves. We're supposed to have an agenda of preserving ourselves. Maybe it is that self that is there that is confusing you when you hear self, but it's not. I'm not talking about the singular. The self I'm talking about is the people of Biafra as a whole, the people from that old Southeastern region. That is how I'm looking at it. And you say supporting criminals among your tribe in the name of preservation is not self-preservation, but self-destruct. Today, Boko Haram is thriving in the north in the name of force and self-preservation. That is also another confusion. In one way, you are answering a question to a different issue. But when it comes to self-preservation that we're talking about, your answer doesn't add up. Because you, as an ordinary person from outside, you see a different thing altogether. But the people who are the core people of that area have an agenda that they are protecting. That every one of them seem to buy into it. You can imagine somebody like Sheikh Gumi went to Saudi Arabia and he was not allowed to enter because they know that his agenda is wrong. But in Nigeria, his agenda is allowed. He is giving security to work in Nigeria. In Nigeria, he's moving to escort.
And the Northerners are supporting him.
Supporting him 100%. He's a spokesperson. So this self-preservation goes deeper. Don't look at it at the shallow. Don't look at it at the individual level. Look at it deeper, deeper. We want to look at it deeper, 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 deeper. And that is why the call for unity is very, very important. Unity or self-destruction. We have to make the choice, and the time is now. Our sister Ijoma, please go ahead and unmute yourself and speak to us on the issue that we are discussing. You can see our topic and so many other things we've touched. Go ahead and make a contribution.
Good morning, dear friends. Good morning, Mazi Chooks.
You're welcome,
Thank you for today. Good morning, everyone. According to your time zone, those in the comment section, I say good morning to everyone. Self-preservation, or we will be exterminated. Very important, very timely to discuss. Self-preservation. You cannot have self-preservation if you have no history of where you are coming from. When history is neglected, self-preservation will disappear. If we watch during the 80s, I want to start from there, when it was MPN and MPP, that time, some few governors of the then Eastern region, they tried their best. They have this word in their head of self-preservation. But at the same time, they were very careful and afraid because their fellow brothers in the other parties will use it to attack them. And in order to maintain peace and still try to forge ahead in the midst of the enemies from the north, they didn't come out to pronounce it what it is. But our parents that knows what has happened, those that fought the war, that has always been in their head. If you happen to stay in the East then, you know, that time it was a community thing. Even those that live in the flats, in the neighborhood, everybody will come down and talk. You will hear that always their talks are on politics because there is something that has not finished. There is something that's supposed to be done that has not been done to Ndibo. Now, I will bring it down to Bianca Ono. It's one person that the father has fought the self-preservation of Ndibo and always give it to the Hausa people because all he wanted was power. All he wanted was to hear his name in the high places as a governor, not even as a president. And he did everything he can do to bring all his brothers then in Anambra State down just to make sure that the Sokotos recognize him as their friend. When you have such people, our self-preservation is at stake. Now, bring it down to his own fruits. What we are, the blood that has been wasted since our, I'm sorry for that word, since our PM went in. Who did it? On whose head is those men? On whose head? It's on her head. And as many that signed that going in, the same thing. She told the line of the lineage. Now, if we don't have our history, because this is one thing that made them to cancel history in Nigeria, is because of Ndibo. Because there is no way you can talk the little history of civil war of Nigeria and not mention what happened to Ndibo. And the children of Ndibo, with what we are seeing, with what we are hearing from our parents, with the suffering we are experiencing, we are asking questions, why is it like this? Because I ask such questions. When you happen to leave Igbo land and go holiday somewhere, you will just know that something is not adding up. Even within Igbo land, you go from state to state, depending on who is there, you will notice the difference, which is not supposed to be so. Imo State has never, ever had free education. As after Mazimbabwe, I just have free education once in my primary school, primary one. After that, Imo State has never, they pay always the highest school fees. So all this is when the people in position have that in head, they will be having policies to implement it. Now, come down to the people in position. Who put them there? For who are they for? Self-preservation. Do you know that for me personally, I see that the greatest enemies of the, let me use Igbo politicians now, are their own brothers and their own sisters. Why? Because they know they are not our mandate. And they know that because they are not our mandate, that we will not support what they are going to do, because we know them as our brothers. We know what their own agenda will be. Because Igbo has been a race now that always look inward and look in the history of family or persons before they will put in position. That is the way. That's why we ask before we marry. We ask background, because we want to preserve that good name, that self-preservation on that angle. So these people, being who they are, knows that there's no way a genuine Igbo person will support somebody that there is something want to be wrong at a time and repent, and just to make yourself as an instrument of negativity with pride. People don't like that. Nobody will like that. We don't support evil to that extent. And these are the people imposed on us. Then bring it down now to where we can. The same people imposed on us, what are they doing? The latest agenda is to destroy everything that we are known of for. Our culture, our way of living, our religion, our belief. They are just scrambling everything. Just like when the Muslims catch a city, the first thing they do is to destroy the inheritance of that city. Our own is now doing it. The likes of the Soludos, the likes of Uzodinma and Ekwesu is on the same platform, which everybody knows. So we cannot have self-preservation without really knowing our history. And this is where many of our people that still derail is getting it wrong. That like that, our brother that is talking, trying to make sense, but it's not balancing the sense and it's not entering the word, because he has not really known the whole truth. If he is an Igbo, or about the Biafrans as he's supposed to, he would have aligned to the right. Whatever he's saying is where he knew. You cannot give what you don't know. So for us to preserve ourselves is part of what we are doing now. It's for us to tell our own story. That's just what Mazi Nnamdi Kanu came to do. And that's what all of us that believe in the truth are doing, is to tell our own story and to give the reason of our own story and our belief, and to make it clear our own stand. Now, we continue to thank Chukwu Okike Obioma for where we are, no matter what. You know, the day I prayed, I said, this month is a month of laughter. It may seem with our eyes like we have cried too much, but I tell you, Biafrans, this month is a month of laughter for Biafrans, because divinity came to speak. And when divinity talk, even demon himself has no reply, because there is no way you can twist it. And that is what we got this month. So the self-preservation, we must start with knowing our history, loving ourselves. Knowing our history is the foundation, because you cannot tell me you know the history of, example, what killed your father, and you want to tell that way, no matter how stupid that person is, no matter if that person is a mad person. If that person has been told that story before the madness, in that madness, the person will always echo that story because he cannot forget it. And that is part of that person preserving his own step, not to enter where has consumed his father. And that is self-preservation. So we must start telling our true stories from the back, the way it is, which Mazi Nnamdi Kanu has done the whole this thing, even for Africa. Now it is left for our people to have an open mind. That's another thing. Yes, you may hate me yesterday for what you think I am. But today, what did you see me to be? It's only when you have the open mind that will make my difference of me yesterday and today. Because nobody is perfect. Even in that our history, if you don't make analysis with an open mind of what happened in the past, what happened in the near past, what happened in the present, and see the future, you cannot arrive at the future positively. It's only open hearts in honesty that will make us to really get this self-preservation. Others have their agenda of self-preservation. We must not forget that they are in unity, all to be against us. Their self-preservation still stands in the term of hatred of us. I'm telling you, the day we get our head from them, we will now know exactly who they are. I am telling you the truth. All this their stand, all this their one voice, or it's just against me and you. And because we are liberal people, we forget. That is another thing. We forgive and we forget. Yes, it's good to forgive, but it is very important when you forgive, you will always remember and not fall victim for the second time. Like our brother that said, we said on Exile, you know, our